We have 9 more minutes. Obviously, you have a lot to say and contribute.
Oh, I could, and people ask me, to teach, or do you teach? I said, well, no, you can't teach what I do because I'm always changing and growing. I can't teach what I draw.
You're so hot and heavy as an artist right now.
People ask me, if I give workshops. I say, no, because there's nothing. I'm not a workshop like my former husband, Randy Sexton, is, because he's a plein air painter. He has a certain way of doing something, even though he grows it. But he can teach what he does. I can't teach what I do. I can't teach you how to draw like that. You have to grow into your voice with your line. I'm sorry, so what were you going to ask me?
Well, the artist I work with, Warner Williams, he came up in Stanford in the early 70s, and he felt that was a time when painting was under attack from minimalism, conceptualism, commercialism, and an anti-art sensibility, or the death of painting. Did you ever feel like you were marginalized because of your emphasis on being a drawer, painter, figurative worker?
No. No. In fact, no. I've never felt, and also people ask me about being a woman or this, no.
That too.
It's all, no. Not at all. I just don't even think about things like that. It doesn't affect me. I can read in art history, these women in the 50s, Helen Frankenthaler, and this one, and I can read about it, I understand it, I grasp it, I'm thankful they hung tough like guys, but I've never felt, and I've never experienced a negative, a blame because of whatever I make. It's too bad. If you don't like this, then you don't like it. It has to come out of me, as far as the artwork. And being a woman, no, never felt, what is the adjective, shut out or shut down. No.
I mean, right now, for whatever reason, most of the painters I'm following are women. And the really exciting representational or semi-abstract representational paintings, because what I'm interested in is, for example, in your work, how far do you push it towards abstraction?
Oh, they're really abstract. These things, I've always been really, my drawing, that's what I seek. Remember my series In the Abstract, that was from 2005. It's just not even, I don't even have to articulate it, it just happens. It's like, that's how it is. I haven't done academic realist portrait stuff since high school, you see.
But it's to you, it seems natural, like...
Yes, is one and the same. It's ineffable, it just happens. And like right now, before you're coming here, I'll intentionally just push out the whole side of the body or block out the whole top of the head. That was a head. I don't need a face.
You don't need a face.
But sometimes, like before you came here today, I want to see, and then sometimes I do because I want to see that. But I have no fear, nothing, again, I think I got this from Brooke, nothing is that precious. If you get too precious, even within a certain painting, I'll tell someone who's like, I'm so stuck on this, I really like this little part of this work. Like when I used to, and I'm a good critiquer, I love to give critiques to just go flat in and go, and tell them what I see, because they don't see what I see, because they've been looking at it so much. The same with me, someone would come in here and go, well, you're repeating that. Have you ever thought of no blue here? Look at that, there's alizarin crimson everywhere. Let's do a painting, you have no alizarin crimson. I just be able to, I love doing that with, say, graduate students. And also other artists have come to me over the years and spend an hour and I get paid, and I am as frank and truthful and raw and direct and candid, and that's how I am, and they have to just take what they want.
That's how your teacher was too?
Kind of, yeah. But I feel that's the truth, and that's what comes out. So
this ease of going to abstraction and figuration,
it just
you know that's not always normal for artists to be able to
I
do
know,
that.
but over time, with me personally, that is just one and the same. I know it isn't easy. I even read about people struggling with it on Facebook. I've never had to struggle. I think I broke that barrier early on in my career. It was probably in my late 20s or 30s. And I'll tell you, someone asked me that, I think it was painters like David Park and Richard Diebenkorn that gave me that, whether it was the drawings I saw in the books that I've collected or the paintings, that line, the particular woman seated, that windowsill, that vertical, totally intersects with her nose.
Yes.
And and then a couple of them are like puzzles, like a Vuillard painting or some of the Nabis. You have to what's what? And then you finally figure out the puzzle. And it's an interior, but it's so abstract. And these are 19th century French painters. Some of those, if you saw that show, it's like, wait, it's a cat. Her hair, and there's a cat. Or some of those are extraordinary little gems, but they are very abstract, but they're figuration within them. Whether it's the table and the cat and the dish and the man's pipe, fascinating. That is exciting painting to me. When you got to figure it out, it's not just a given.
Right.
And a lot of Roland Peterson, some of his early work is like that too. It's like it took me years, and I finally opened the book. I went, oh my gosh! I looked at this painting for years, and that's a face, and that's a head, and then that's a landscape, and it just suddenly hit you. Just the same. One of my favorite Richard Diebenkorn paintings has nothing to do with the figure, but because it was like I had looked at something for so long, like, what is that? And it was like, and I never know the title. The porch. That vertical, and there's steps. I looked at it like, what is that? And finally one day it was just gel. That is a masterful painting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh my God, the composition and the fields that go. And then there's a city on the hill. I love that. It just gels. And that is like stellar painting. Or stellar work.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a painting. It could be a photograph. It could be anything. I don't like just talking about paintings or a drawing.
But Diebenkorn just seems like such a strong connection for me looking at your work, because I see his drawings, I see his more abstracted, I see his more figurative, and I see you traveling through all those areas just about as comfortably as he did.
Yeah, I'm multidisciplinary. I think he was, and I like that. He even did I was looking at a book last night, I flipped open, he had even done an early Ocean Park to figure it out. He had some collage. So he
did what?
Collage.
He did collage.
Yes. So we both draftspeople, painters.
Yes.
Mixed media.
Yes.
Printmakers.
Yes.
And
Collages.
he was at, a lot of different places. I've been at several places, including Crown Point Press on a workshop. But I can't be around that stuff because of the chemicals, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, and the only thing I do more than I think he did, we both weren't sculptors. I don't really like
Didn't
sculpture.
make it big as sculptors.
That's not part of our oeuvre.
Yeah.
But I have made some three-dimensional things that no one's seen based on my figures. They're little cutouts. But I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I did them last year. So they're actually kind of three-dimensional, but I don't know what's going to happen. And I think I've explored photography a lot. And I've done series that are like my series Reliquaries from 4 years ago is using unique pinhole photography that I process shot on my own and then made into something else. And there's a whole body of work based on using photography. So photography is really important. And it wasn't so much to Diebenkorn, I don't think.
Well, it's not hard for me to imagine a lush book about you that has a lot of scholarship connecting you to Diebenkorn and shows your development in figurative work. I'm really interested in your figures. And I also see your work as a bit of an antidote to an anti-figurative period of art. And I don't know of very many artist painters right now working in figure the way you do as much as you do.
and people also, I get the criticism, everything's so small. I say, well, you know, and I don't have a big statement. I don't have to make things big. Maybe I will work large at some point again. That's one thing I get.
Honestly, that is my preference, because I like to step into a work and I don't want to dominate it with my body size. So if it's this big, it's much easier for me to dominate it. But if it's bigger like this, you know that this almost like a sexual thing. Are you submissive or are you dominant? You can flip-flop as a viewer.
I've never heard of such a, that's an interesting concept. I never thought of such a thing.
I like to be dominated a little bit.
Yeah, I enjoy like...
So that I can go into it and be embraced by it. And you're doing these bodies, I want to be embraced by the body in a way.
Or even that huge Seurat painting, or
yes.
the huge Vuillard paintings at the Norton Simon. You're just like, whoa, it's a wall. But also,
not that big. I'm not saying that big.
I understand.
Torso big, like.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand on many levels: the psychic level, the psychological level, the physical level. But I never think about dominance or not. But you can also be like on something small and precious. It's like a whole world unto itself.
Well, that's Vermeer, and that's a gem-like quality, and I love that too. But I like both, you know.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I appreciate both. But anyway.
So I mean, we're almost out of time. The other stuff I wanted to delve into, maybe another point, is your connection to other painters like Nathan Oliveira and Frank Liddell. Would they have any particular influence on you?
Liddell, even though I'm in his sacred former space, not really. I never met him. I met his wife, Jinx, because we're both walkers. When I used to show at Campbell Tebow, and she would come with her glasses. She's a walker, and but not really. But I understand his whole being affected by the war and his abstractions, but I'm not a pure abstract artist like he was. But so I don't really, and I appreciate it. I asked the question how he drew in drawing groups is a nice practice and a camaraderie thing with all those guys.
Yes.
And he did. And as I have done with other groups in my life too, and I understand what that's like. And who? I'm sorry.
Nathan Oliveira.
And Nathan. Yes.
A figure painter, is pushing the figure. And
I remember when my first, who did this? When I first moved here and went to the old Oakland Museum before it's been, and that pink figure, standing. It's like seminal work. They've had it since I moved here in the late '80s. I went, wow, I like that. It has all that brushwork, the drips, and the pink and the gray. It's a large figurative painting. And I didn't know who he was, I didn't know his name, but I was like, that I like, and it inspired me. And then I was going to try to get into Stanford for an MFA, also Yale and a couple other places. Ended up not going to get an MFA. But when I went down to Stanford, Nathan Oliveira was the head of the administration department. And so it was me and him at his desk, and my slides at the time, 1980, before the earthquake, 88 probably. And I remember he just said, he was complaining about, I'm not an administrator, I'm an artist. So I need to be in New Mexico. I remember him saying, I was like, this is another thing. I was just, okay, well, what do you think of these slides? And I remember he thought I should go to Iowa. I should go to the University of Iowa.
Go to Iowa, young lady.
Yeah, I remember thinking, okay, whatever, that happened. And then I've met him since after that. But I was this little 27-year-old, what do I do? Yeah, that was nice. And Charles Campbell, really, he was such a major force to bring all these people together too.
I don't know much about him.
He was the gallery owner down at 645 Chestnut Street, and all these guys passed through these doors or met him. He died short of 100 a year or so ago. And he just where a lot of these people got their start in his little gallery, right down the street from the Art Institute.
Probably an important part of Bay Area art history then.
Definitely. If anybody should write a book about, he should be a.
I'll
pivotal
research him
character.
because,
I
yeah.
even, yeah, I have information. And I went to his, at Bimbo's in North Beach,
Yeah.
which would have been the place for his 100th birthday. It was a commemoration instead. So I went to that and I stood up and talked a little bit spontaneously.
Well, Kim, I want to thank you for your time.
Thanks,
This
Theo.
is far beyond what I could have imagined, like in terms of sprawling content and like this.
Yeah, I got a lot in my head.
Well, you're a big carrier of the culture and art for this area, so you're very perfect for what I was looking
good.
for.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad I could share a little tip of the iceberg.
Do you have any final words for the artists out there?
It isn't, there's a lot, it is not easy, and when you get a flow, go with it and keep working and don't be deterred by the market or sales. Something will happen. You have to just keep the faith and keep working.
Yeah.
You have to show up, like, you gotta show up.
Well, you're Rosie the Riveter of the work ethic for art.
Well, even when I'm like right now, a little compromised, I still show up.
Yeah.
So, even if it's just little washes in the paper, it's something.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and then you hope for grand epiphanies. That's what I like, when you get a great epiphany and you just can go with it for a year.
Right.
That's what I like. I'm waiting for my next epiphany.
But
Subject. And,
can we depend on you to keep working with the human figure?
oh yeah, that'll always be part of the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Theo.